BTS series Europe. We've got the second game between HellRaisers and Finem on our hands, and hopefully it'll be a bit longer of one. Once again, I'm Llama down under, joined by Scant. It's early in the morning. Earth Spirit's gotten out.
Yeah, it's it's worrying for me when a team loses and in the next game they ban two of the picks from the draft they lost against in the first phase. That's what H have done now. They banned the Venge and the Night Stalker. And you said hopefully a longer game, but Advenom have started with a push strategy. Chen and H's Prophet. So Lycan gets banned out now, but I do feel like there's potential for this game to run similarly to the previous game, depending on how the lane stage goes. I think if Advenom get the better of H on the lane stage again, and there's the Viper ban, another one of the picks that they had actually last game. If Advenom have a really good lane stage like last game, it could be a very fast, pushy game, just like the previous one. But Earth Spirits and Witch Doctor, both heroes, which are quite well equipped actually to deal with the lane stage and the early push.
I think, as you mentioned, it's really scary if Advenom come out of... even if they lose the lanes, that's the power of these pushing lineups. You don't need to win the lanes. You can lose them, and then you have the Nature's Prophet and the Death Prophet can just work together and push down towers, lickety-split, get themselves a bit of a lead. So...
yeah, it depends on how badly you lose. I mean, if you lose the lanes quite horribly, like you need your item timings, right? That's the important thing for the push. Like if they have their levels and their items, it doesn't really matter if they like died a few more times in lane or something like that. But the converse is kind of like what I'm saying is if they do win the lane, there's not going to be a whole lot to stop them. So HR will definitely be focusing a lot on the lane stage in their draft. They've got two heroes that are pretty good for the lane stage already, two heroes that are also good against the push with the casks and, well, every Earth Spirit spell, basically. Yeah. And I think they're going to go for more early game stuff. I mean, last game they had a lot of early game stuff, to be honest. Like, other than the Drow Ranger, and even the Drows, like, she went for Max and Froster. So the issue definitely wasn't that HR were, like, trying to farm and just got pushed. They got completely outplayed in the previous game.
Very much so. On the other hand, Earth Spirit, always a good hero. Death Prophet's hard to kill because she can, even if someone's going in on her, can Spirit Siphon them, which Earth Spirit you generally have to take Boulder at level 1, so you're not also going to have the silence, and if you're waiting to gank to level 2, it might be a bit too late. But plus Alina, they might have enough burst to bring down the Death Prophet.
It'll help, but we've just seen the Oracle pickup, which can just turn Lena's damage off, unless she has like... I don't know, what does she... no, actually, yeah, I could just turn Lena's damage off. Which is an issue. And Death Prophet's a hero that doesn't really mind that much, not being able to right-click while she's spell immune. She's pretty happy with that trade-off. Oracle also kind of shuts off the possibility of a Darkseid pick for HellRaisers, which might be one of the off-laners they'd want against a lineup like this. So, Advenom looking pretty good, and HellRaisers still looking a bit shaken from their picks, especially from their bans. That 3 of their first 4 bans were just like directly taken from heroes they saw last game.
Yeah, I mean, this is looking rough for HellRaisers, given... I'm hopeful that they can bring something out better in the laning phase, because as you mentioned, it doesn't matter maybe too much if they... It doesn't matter if they have good picks here, if the laning phase goes anything like it did last time.
Yeah, it's going to be near impossible for them if Advenom get the start they had last game. Although, I mean, a lot of the start last game was down to HellRaisers trying to actually do things themselves. Like, it started going badly when the Jakiro rotated into the off lane and just died. And then, over and over, they got deaths, especially in that lane. Didn't need to be happening, then they would go for kills of their own in their safe lane. TPs come in, they lose heroes, so... It was actually a lot to do with HellRaisers like trying to be proactive in a setup where maybe they didn't have the luxury of being proactive. So if they better understand their own picks and position in the game, they could definitely be alright in this game. They picked the offlane versus Void, which I think is kind of interesting. It's really good against the nuke of the Oracle. You can just like take off all the damage and get all the heals, so Oracle really doesn't want to be nuking it faces Void.
He's also a hero that feels Oh, at the same time?
No, 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 no. Continue.
Oh, just I feel like he's very, very difficult to harass out of lane no matter what you put up against him, unless you have a silence to stop the time walk.
Well, that's the like you actually Void's not that hard to harass as long as you have a
10
hero that does
seconds
small
remaining.
instances of damage many times rather than big instances one time.
5
So the
seconds
Oracle is really
remaining.
bad at harassing Void because it
Radiant
just has that
team
like one
pick.
big nuke. I mean, it can still harass him with right clicks,
Dire
which is
team
fine.
pick.
Ideally, you want something like a disruptor, which has like multiple every few seconds kind of thing, and then he has to dodge only one of them. But I mean, look, HellRaisers have a really good lineup with the Void. As the game goes later, they've got like all of their heroes are great at throwing damage into a Chronosphere, so there's definitely that. But early on in the game, the Void's not going to really produce much at all. It's just like how fast this Void works. Klinks is going to be very strong early on, though. I mean, I actually think HellRaisers picks give them a good opportunity to contest the early game. But I'm going to stick with what we both said before. Like if they get beaten down hard in the early game like they did last game, then their chances are very, very low in this game. If they do alright in the early game, maybe even get a bit of a lead, they actually look pretty good. Like there's not that much to control the
10
Klinks.
seconds
Klinks is a
remaining.
ridiculously strong hero actually when there aren't enemy heroes that can naturally control him. And if he gets a good start and his team's doing alright, even the lead of both of them actually are gonna have a great time just going around making solo kills.
Yeah, we'll see how Alpha Ninja can do in this mid lane. It's something. What's up?
Sorry, continue. I'm looking at Klinks' set. I haven't seen this before.
Oh, I've seen this one, I think. Yeah, but it's funky. I think this. Oh, they spotted the ward placement here, so that'll get quickly de-warded, which isn't so nice for Goddamn, who was probably hoping to have some of that vision to help him make plays in mid.
Do we know about the selection? Did you see it? Were they doing it in the lobby? Because I wasn't at my PC, but because Finem are Radiant in both games. And
I'm gonna
HR Dire.
assume they picked first pick, but
30
I'm not actually
seconds to
100% sure because it should have swapped one of the games. Like, it generally, right, one side gets... Each side has an option of picking whether they want pick or side priority, and the majority of teams pick... Actually, no, a lot
First
of
pick.
teams just pick first pick. So, it could
Most
be...
of them pick first pick, but so HR had first pick this game. Do you remember who had first pick last game?
It should have been Adfinem.
Which
means they picked Radiant, which is really weird.
Yeah, that's the point. So then they picked
The
Radiant
battle
this game,
begins.
which is like one of the major reasons you pick Radiant is to push. So it's very much like I almost get the feeling like this is not me trying to be disrespectful. I almost get the feeling that the first game was so easy for them. They were like, let's not waste any time with the second game. We'll just push again and. And if it ends up going poorly for them, they might regret it because often these kind of push strategies have less like versatility, they're less dynamic going late. But then again, Adfinem they've got a Juggernaut and a Death Prophet and a Nature's Prophet, so they actually have plenty of power going into the late game if they need to. The bigger concern would be that if their push timings don't work, as I was saying before, they don't have a good way to deal with like heroes like Lina or Klinks running around the map picking people off.
They definitely picked a lot more flexible of a lineup than, say, HR's was last game, which seemed to have some problems getting off the ground, but still, there is a lot to be said for. I think HR this time, good potential team fight. They've got good synergy with the Chronosphere, right? They've picked some very ranged heroes that can get stuff done inside the Chronosphere, and as always, they got the Witch Doctor Chronosphere combo, which is pretty dang potent.
Yeah, and the Earth Spirit Chronosphere combo and the Lino Chronosphere combo and the Klinks Chronosphere combo. It's a really good Chronosphere game actually if everyone gets a little bit of farm and experience. Like team fights could actually like a good Chronos could mean a lot for HR in this game. The bigger concern about the Void would be it's a hero that doesn't really contribute that much outside of the Chrono, especially early on. But yeah, like all four of the other heroes do a lot of work early on by way of damage output.
Now, this bottom lane, we talked a little about it in the draft. We do have Oracle down there, which means that Void, if the Fortune's End comes out, Shockwell can backtrack a lot of that. But, you know, he does still want a couple levels. Actually, she begins with the Fate's Edict. Interesting.
Yeah, that's exactly why though, right? Because there's this career,
Is in the danger zone. That was a AFK using the courier. Oh, and Nature's Prophet on the top lane is gonna fall. Looks like Goddamn came in there with that boulder roll and managed to get some good work done, even though Clinks took quite a bit of damage.
Oh, it's a good start to the game for HR. I think that last game they only had one kill in the whole
Yes.
game. So getting the first one, much better start. But yeah, the Oracle, to me it actually makes sense starting with the Fate's Edict. It's pretty cheap, it's spammable, and it lets you try and harass the Void, because you're not going to be able to harass with your Purifying Flames at all. It's not a threat at all to Void when time walks up. You could go for the Fortune's End, but that's not really a harassment skill, so this build's kind of unorthodox, but I think it makes great sense that this is the way to go if you're trying to get the harass off.
Now, on the other hand, the Faceless Void has hit level 2. She's doing some damage into him, and it's true that they might have enough to burst at some point, but he's getting levels freely, and more levels in that time walk makes it easier for him in lane.
Yeah, it's the poor man's shield really. Like I think this Fate's Edict build plus harass would have actually been fine if there wasn't a poor man's shield, but that the Void could have the poor man's shield and the Fairy Fire and the Tangos is just worked out in his favor, and it's actually very, like as I said in the draft, Oracle's one of the weaker heroes at harassing a Void because the damage from Oracle is all-time walkable.
Now we're gonna have a roll in onto Thug, the Light Strike Array. Oh no, Alpha Ninja kind of turning around oddly. Thug using that Spirit Siphon, trying to get the juke off, does manage to dodge, and now Alpha Ninja taking a lot of damage from Skylark, who's TP'd in. The Light Strike Array is still on cooldown, she's gonna eat her Fairy Fire, but now Skylark takes a Dragon Slave, gets hit by the Boulder Roll, goes down, Saspotin's finally coming as well. Alpha Ninja salving up, and that should be the disengage.
Alpha Ninja, this is like uncharacteristic. He's a good player, and I've seen him play many times before, and I don't know, there should have been a stun there. There definitely should have been a stun there. I find it very surprising that after Earth Spirit's initiation that Thug kind of just ran around in circles, and Alpha Ninja not confident to go for the stun.
It could just be some effects of last game, or, as you said, maybe just not 100% sure where Thug would be going on that Death Prophet.
Yeah, I mean, Dota in many ways is a game of confidence. Like, if they dominated the previous game, he's gonna be confident that he's just gonna hit a stun, not gonna be that hesitant. Definitely does have an effect. In the meantime, Goddamn's trying to hunt Spartan, but Spartan's got 2 friends, so gets chased away, bounced.
And maybe next time's actually gotten Shocklow quite low on this bottom lane, with the help, I'm pretty sure, of that Fortune's End. So now Shocklow not feeling like he can go up at all. In the mid again, though, we're going to have Alpha Ninja taking a net. Goddamn coming in. The Spirit Siphon more than enough to bring one down. And now Goddamn can't get the Boulder Roll away because of a nice block from Skylark. And Goddamn, oh, the autos have it.
Yeah, so game starts better for HR, but not that much better. If you actually look at the net effect, the bigger picture, there's still golden XP lead for Finem like there was in the previous game. They're making kills, they're shutting down Lina. The Clinks are still doing great, so...
Yeah, Clinks did, Undershock did well in both games, looking like they're getting themselves a kill on Skylark up here in top, although Undershock taking a lot of damage, netted under the tower, blown up by that Fortune's End, and the Witch Doctor is not escaping either. So again, a dive for a kill that results in both going down.
Yeah, and this is again reminiscent of the previous game, because that's what exactly when HR made kills in that lane involved diving, TP'd in, and going down. So it's the pattern of the games is pretty similar, even if HR got more kills on the board early on. But Clinks is I think, I don't know, it's tricky. They get the tower, Clinks has early items. Clinks needs level 6, very importantly, maybe some power treads.
Oh, but
and then it's a hero that actually...
On Alpha Ninja again, the net up, and she goes down. You were saying about Clinks.
It'll come online a lot faster than the draw. Like, I mean, you tried to max his frost arrows and be relevant in draw early game, but Clinks is just really needs ulti, as I said, possibly power trades, and then run around the map and actually do things, put pressure on the enemy team, which the draw couldn't really do in the previous game.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Madara is on the run. It looks like he's gonna get out. From the looks of things, tried to get a kill up there. He actually has a lot of farm, almost as much as the Clinks. He actually has way more CS than the Clinks, but obviously the Clinks got a kill there on the Nature's Prophet, so that helps out.
Oracle's just kind of like teasing Clinks here. Trying to bait Clinks to go for a kill. I don't know.
A little
I think
bit
Oracle
surprising.
needs to get out.
Yeah, she has, or he has no mana. So baiting the Clinks doesn't seem like the best of plays at that low mana. I guess I had just enough for that disarm.
Well, meanwhile, at the mid lane, Ninja finally got level 6. Actually, almost level 7 now. When the fights have been happening, there's not been a Laguna Blade online. That's why I'm making the points about it. But we'll see. It looks like there's not going to be an attempt on Thug. Earth Spirit coming in, Laguna Blade is up, and
They've made it work.
still might
before.
need to hit the stun.
Yeah, they might be able to do it with a Dragon Slave and a Roland, but looking like Thug backs on out to do creep camps, meaning that goddamn can't find anything there. He's had some good impact already this game, you know, he's been involved in a lot of his team's kills. Unfortunately, they just haven't had a lot.
Yeah, it's... I want to see what this Clinks does now that he's like got his ulti online. He's probably going to finish treads here. Yeah, he's got himself a TP scroll, and I wouldn't be that surprised if we see him pack the creep and TP someone.
The smoke comes out and they find goddamn, maybe not Alpha Ninja, who I think they wanted, but still stopping the gank attempt on Thug, killing someone.
Clinks is going to run straight into the sentry.
Oh, he should know now because they dewarded, so he won't. He's going to wrap around on top. While Skylark stands in the side, and Undershock, yeah, Undershock
Skylark's
should
pretty good
easily...
at that.
Now, yeah, and Skylark knows it too. Oh no, what on earth happened there? Clinks was inside the trees and then outside the trees. Did you see that interaction?
Sprout just does that sometimes, knocks people, like, weirdly. That's very unfortunate, because that's literally the only way that he could have lived there. The Witch Doctor had tankers, but couldn't get there on time, I think. Clinks had a tank of his own, just explored, and they could have casked. Alpha Ninja does have a haste rune, so
Radiant's middle tower
Barton needs to be careful, but looks like he's just making the enemy jungle his own for now. Alpha Ninja didn't actually know he was there.
Yeah, they're just taking advantage of this map. Almost have 6 on the Nature's Prophet. Void does already have 6, so there could be a Chronosphere gank at some point. Oh, goddamn, has found Spartan.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
They missed the boulder Roland, but Spartan is surrounded on all sides. The stun hits and he is going down.
Yeah, and a bunch of Chen creeps will probably die here too. So yeah, it's good for HR, and it's maybe unnecessary actually for Finem there. There's no reason that he needed to be in the enemy jungle. He had a lot of vision up, so he probably thought it was safe.
Something else to point out though is these levels. These levels. The Earth Spirit, of course, has been roaming only level 3 versus everybody else has their ults in this game.
Yeah, and Earth Spirit's ulti is actually quite important. Once the push starts happening, that's what you want the Earth Spirit to be there for. It's unfortunate, because I mean, like, for example, the one kill in mid lane, I definitely think should have been a kill on DP if Alpha Ninja was a bit more confident in being able to stun. So, I don't think the blame goes to Goddam, who I think has been moving around the map actually really well.
Oh, I'm not sure. I don't think they saw Undershock there. But Undershock sees them all. And it's a little bit harder to get these... Oh, okay, did they just... No, okay, they did smoke. They got the smoke off. I don't think Undershock saw that the smoke occurred.
Yeah, but decides not to try go for a kill because he's wary of the TP out or the Sprout TP out again.
Yeah, the Chen heal as well. I think it's really hard to kill. Normally, as you mentioned, the Clinks, you just get level 6.
Alpha Ninja.
Active. Yeah, Alpha Ninja is going down, tanks the Omni Slash. One more order will do it. And actually, Witch Doctor does TP in. Chronosphere gonna be landing onto 2. Witch Doctor pops that ult. It's doing a good amount of damage to Madara, but he doesn't seem to care. Now Witch Doctor has to stop the channel. The team fight's still continuing. Can they find anything off the back of this for HR? It looks like the tower's just going to go down. Sharklo now has nothing else. The cask is flying around. Undershock trying to do damage where he can, but the Chen heal comes out. These heroes are so hard to kill on Finem. Healing Ward, the Chen heal, the Spirit Siphon, they're not getting anything. Now another Spirit Siphon onto the Witch Doctor. He's running it out, but it looks like Juggernaut has his name. No, the double heal comes out. The Coconut's flying onto Madara. He doesn't have a spin at the ready here, but the False Promise comes out. Suddenly Exorcism is up. Goddamn, about to be taking a lot of damage if they can just see him. Undershock strangely TP's in the middle of the fight. Spirit Siphon healing Thug back up, and they blow up one. The Earth Spirit goes down, but so does Thug. A big kill for HR. Madara stunned up again with nothing else he can do, and the overextension from Finem. heavily punished. They're gonna lose 4, maybe 5. Can maybe next time escape? Ninja chasing, not gonna find it.
I think it's quite a bit on the Oracle actually. I mean, it's a team decision, but the reason that they overextended, they went kind of deep to try kill Witch Doctor, and the reason they didn't kill the Witch Doctor is because the Oracle used Purifying Flames too early. And what happens if you Purifying Flames someone too early is they end up healing for it instead of taking as much damage. I mean, it takes quite a while for the heal to actually counteract the damage, but the point is you could still. It's not necessarily about counteracting it. So you get maximum damage out of the Purifying Flames if you use it for the last hit. And he didn't actually wait for that. He used it, and then they tried to like throw that Crypt Swarm to finish off the Witch Doctor. The Witch Doctor lived, and then they'd all gone really deep. And yeah, they do. HR definitely came to the party. Like once the opportunity was there, they were ready to take the kills. And I think it's very wasteful for Finem. They're in a very strong position already, very early in this game, and get themselves punished, put HR back into a pretty strong position, and now the game is pretty even again, actually. And I want to say, like in the early fight, that fight was like 3 fights in a row. The first one with the Chronosphere, we actually saw how weak HR were. That they got their Chrono and Death Ward combo, and there was just not enough on its own to deal with damage. The Lina was dead at that point, Klinks wasn't there, and the damage output just was not around. But it's gonna be there much more now. Lina's got Ether Lens, she's alive, so that helps. Klinks has got a Medallion. The next fight, there's going to be new tools for HR to use to actually get that damage output.
It's definitely something where I think Finem very wary. They know that they threw away a bit of a lead there. They took a bad fight. They helped HR get, I mean, now, well, never mind. Earth Spirit is still only level 4. But now there's definitely a bit of a level advantage in favor of HR. There's still a lot more game to go. And as you said, part of the reason that went so wrong, it was so many fights. The initial one, HR did no damage. You know, the Chronosphere Witch Doctor ult was a bit underwhelming. Earth Spirit gonna be caught out here by Chen. I'm not sure, will we have the TP rotations in to stop him? Witch Doctor is nearby but TPing out, goddamn. Wandering down to the bottom tower, which has been taken by his teammates, and they're TPing out, so the Omni Slash gonna pick off that Earth Spirit.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
There's a Faceless Void still lingering around here. I guess he knows that it's very difficult for them to kill him. So, I mean, I don't see Void making any kills here. Okay. Eats a ward on his way out and he'll be going.
Yeah, it's definitely a better game already than the first game. So.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't that much better until that fight in the mid lane. It wasn't like it was better. I mean, the previous game was done at this stage.
Yeah.
Like it was like 12 minutes. So, but I think before those series of fights in the mid lane, Finem were like still very much in control of this game. And now not at all. Now they need to be careful all the time because this is what I said during the draft. Like Klinks, Lina, Void, Earth, all of these heroes actually. There's really not good lockdown on the side of Finem. There's essentially no lockdown. Like their best hope is silencing people and then I say stun, but it's not like Fortune's ending them. Doesn't really stun them.
Yeah, that's something we haven't commented on. Other than Chen, we don't actually have stuns on Finem. And Chen's is RNG, right? You have to get the right creep.
Yeah, exactly. So and those are the ways that you usually control heroes like Earth Spirits, like Void, like Klinks, even the Lina. So there's potential for HR to make lots of kills, to threaten a lot of pickoffs. And because Finem have given away the lead they had before, they need to be careful about that. So they're gonna try and take the rush.
But they know they are headed over, smoked up HR. The Klinks is there. All of Finem know about it. They're going to be able to see Undershock. Undershock taking quite a bit of damage here, but the Chronosphere hits on 3. Madara, the only one not stuck inside it. He does pick off Undershock, though. Thug almost blown up. No false promise coming out, and now the Witch Doctor ult is channeling. It doesn't do much more than that, and they do have a buyback from the Klinks.
Klinks brought back. He's running straight back in. He's going to go into the sentry ward.
No, he should know exactly where it is, right? Oh, but he's going to be playing on the edge, maybe next time taking a lot of damage. The dust does come out onto Undershock. Madara has the ult in 3, 2, 1. He'll be able to get it off at the end of this fight, and actually, I'm not sure whether he's going to turn it around on Klinks. He should use it on the rest of the team. There he goes, popping it off. It is only level 2, so it doesn't get off nearly enough slashes, but Ninja getting very low. A few more auto attacks will have it, and there they go. Shocklow now going to be the one taking their damage, but they can't kill this Void very easily, and Skylark going to be the one who falls. They just need one more auto attack. He's being healed up. Undershock hit him. Undershock manages to just get him. Goddamn, will pay with his life again. So that's his second death in short succession. I'm not sure that Madara, though, has the damage output. Witch Doctor should go down, but Shockley can just sit around poking at them. They can't kill this boy. He'll just time walk away. He puts all of their cooldowns on lock. Clinks is still playing around. They should know about that, but do they have dust between them? It's
No,
looking like they're out of it.
Yeah, all the dust, all the sentries already used, and Klinks is very lucky actually. They didn't die for the second time in that fight, so also buying back. With few opportunities for him to actually focus him down, and he was just a bit too slippery. Made it out, eats the chain creep on his way out. Doesn't get that punished, but it's still a very big win, that fight overall for Advenom. And I think they'll be able to... Oh, they're going to try and finish Rush. Actually, it's going to be
They
tight.
should be able to. The Shocklow has no Chronosphere. He's blown up in that silence. Ninja does land a really big stun, but if the Clinks comes close, he's going to be seen by that sentry. So Advenom should have this one.
Yeah, it's the DP silence. That's like playing the role of the stuns for them. I mean, it helps when they have the same sort of stuns, but the silence is actually the control that they have, which, I mean, it does control all of the enemies at this stage in the game.
Thug has the Yules up, uses it to silence up Ninja. The Sprout manages to hit Thug, stunned shortly by the paralyzing cost, but Ninja, the stun doesn't land and she goes down, and now we're going to be seeing Witch Doctor chase down Spirit Siphon as well. And Advenom, you give them a little bit of space and they take a mile.
Yeah, that fight was... The original fight at the Rush Pit was disastrous actually for HR. Like the Void, I mean, you're calling out which of the Advenom heroes win the chrono, but on the top side of the chrono, the Clinks and the Earthspirit were also stuck in it, and the Clinks like died without doing anything. That's why he bought back immediately, because he actually stuck inside the Chronosphere, was dying to Juggernaut, the top half of it. So the fight was actually really, the positioning just didn't work out at all for them.
Yeah, and with that, now that things have actually settled down, yeah, Faceless gonna get away. We can see that Advenom have pushed their lead to almost 7.5 thousand net worth and over 5,000 experience.
And this is what I mean, I hate to say, but this is what so often happens in a game where there's two teams and the one is like just playing at a higher tier than the other one. Like, despite the fact that Advenom gave away the entire lead, like allowed HellRaisers to come back into the game. Shortly after, we see them pulling away again. And it really does come down to the fact that right now this team is playing better. They're on better form, you could say. And Clinks has finished Solar Crest. He's gonna try and hunt down Thug, but that's a DP with a Yule Scepter. There's an Earth Spirit nearby, but there's also allies for the side of Advenom.
Okay, on the sidelines, yeah, as you said, DP in a lot of trouble here. She can get off her Spirit Siphon. There's also the False Promise, so she is not going home anytime soon. Goddamn, does finally throw out that ult, but mainly hitting on creeps in the Omni Slash in the Chronosphere. Shocklow just has to wander away. Madara finally stopped. Witch Doctor does get out. So they only lose, goddamn, which is a good thing for HR, but they did expend the Chronosphere, which tells Advenom that they can push right now.
And there's an entire Battle Fury on the career.
Oh!
That's pretty nice.
Yeah, Undershock gonna go for maybe next time, who already has a Ghost Scepter coming out. That is not good news.
It's so bad, actually. It's so bad. I mean, I'm talking about how they don't have tools to lock down heroes like Clinks, but if you've got Ghost Scepter on the squishy heroes, then Clinks is really going to struggle to be relevant in the game. So HR make the right move and they try and get a trade, they split push the other sides, but it's again, I mean, it's about 10 minutes later than last game, but it's a similar situation where Advenom are like, okay, we're going for your base, like, you come fight us or you lose your base, simple as that.
And with an Aegis also up on Madara, it's an easy fight for them. They can put Madara very far forwards. He's going to take a lot of damage here. They may even bring him down, but as we said, he's got an Aegis, and now he's just spinning on Shocklow. Shocklow backtracks all of that time with the Time Walk, and now Thug stunned up by the Light Strike Array. The Ebola is out. The Death Ward hitting onto Thug through that False Promise Laguna Blade as well. Thug is most likely dead at the end of this, but just using that Spirit Siphon gets them the racks, and they walk out still not having used that Aegis.
Yeah, save the Aegis, get the melee racks. It's actually not that bad for the DP to die.
A big kill though for HL, but at the cost of their racks?
Yeah, if it was the ranged racks, it's probably like relative to the position, a win for HR. But because it's the melee racks, I think that Advenom are happier with that trade. I mean, ideally they don't want to give any heroes away, but So they don't mind that much, I think. And when the DP spawns, she's probably gonna pick up an item, and they'll just go push again with the Aegis still intact.
Yeah. Now, taking a look around at some items, because obviously had Finem getting a big burst of gold, there's a mech and a Glimmer Cape up on Spartan. As you talked about, the full Battle Fury brought up by Jug, and I believe he has the Yasha on the way now too. Death Prophet's beginning work on that Octarine. You know, as I said, it's a Blink and a Ghost Scepter on maybe next time. How do you bring this Oracle down?
Probably you don't. It's yeah, I mean it's you kill Furion. That's like the hero that you can kill easily if you're HR.
Dyer's
There aren't
top tower is
really
under
any
attack.
others that are easy to take down.
Dyer's
And with
top
But
that-
obviously
has
he's
fallen.
gonna be with his team, so
Yeah. AF get the lost outer tower. Now they're going to be able to work on these tier 3s. And they have about a minute, probably less. Oh no, the Aegis is just expired. But still, they have a lot of mechanisms to not have to worry too much about it. They can throw all the creeps and the exorcism up on that tower. Yeah, and it's already at half health.
they try to smoke the void around for a nice chrono, but smoke got broken. So he's gonna have to just go straight in. He doesn't have a blink yet, it's very unfortunate. Has to use the very short range time walk to get this chrono off.
We'll see. He goes for it. He does manage to hit 4. That's pretty big. Maybe next time, though. Where is the false promise? It comes out onto Thug, but they've killed off Skylark already, and Thug will be going down at the end of this, even with the Chen heal and so on. Full Laguna Blade. Now we have an Omni Slash. Hits on a lot of creeps. Goddamn, taking damage. Thug still alive because he got off those Spirit Siphons, and now, goddamn, going to fall. Lena up in the air. The Coconut bounces a really nice half a ninja. Gets off a Light Strike Array onto 2. Goddamn, has brought back and is turning around onto Thug, who finally goes down. Another decent hold from HR, so Spartan will also fall most likely. The Glimmer Cape wears off and they have the auto attack, so Spartan dominates some melee creep, but goes down.
Radiant's middle
Yeah, it's
tower
an
is under
interesting
attack.
series of events. I think that Adfinem get baited by the fact that so HR get a really nice chrono and Adfinem realize, hey, after the chrono's finished, we're actually looking pretty good. Like they didn't kill any of us, maybe we can fight. But the bigger deal is that the DP and the Jugger both didn't have the ulti.
Yeah.
Or
Well,
yeah,
Jug's ulti
they
went
both
on
did-
creeps. Like,
Yeah.
the majority of those slashes were on creeps.
So yeah, so Jug's ulti didn't really get used usefully, and DP's ulti was finished like before the chrono even started. And so I think Adfinem should have. It's tough. They had to recognize that even though the enemy team kind of got no value out of their chronosphere, they turned that around. They weren't in the position to win the fight anyway. And interestingly enough, DP now finishes the Atos, not going for that Octarine core. Partially, probably just wanting to buy something right now that could be useful right now, and partially because I actually, I mean, maybe I'm making the same point in two different ways. I think that they can make lots of kills with this Atos. I think it's
Yeah.
gonna like directly benefit their fights.
Also, small little thing that's often ignored on the Atos, the cripple. Obviously, Clink has picked up evasion. And on the Atos, there is the cripple, which gives you 40% plus accuracy for the target who has been affected by... When you attack the target who is affected by the Atos, you get 40% accuracy. So, you can hit the Clinks more likely, even though he has
Yep.
evasion. So, it's not a huge, big thing. It's not really what we're looking for most of the time with the Atos. It is the slow. It is the fact that it gives you a lot of int and a lot of health relative to its cost. But, hey, when someone else has an evasion, it sure helps.
Yep, it's relevant. On the other side, the Void has picked up his Blink now, so those kind of chronos are going to happen all the time. If Adfin and Bunch up, they are going to get caught in big chronos. Was kind of difficult for him to get that one off, managed to get it off anyway. But I feel like he waited until the Exorcism was finished, and I don't think Adfin really mind that much if they're at risk of being hit by a good chrono only when they don't have Exorcism up.
I think it's very interesting, even though HR are 10,000 net worth behind, it does feel like, as we just saw, if they can land a good chrono, albeit how often are you going to have opportunities for 4-man chronos, but still, they can get something done. Because they have good team
It's
fight.
very hard.
Yeah.
It's very, like, I mean, the chrono didn't necessarily give them a good team fight. That's why, Adfinem could have probably all run away with their lives after the chrono. Adfinem tried to fight more after chrono and didn't get anything from their Omni Slash and didn't have their Exorcism. So it's a tricky situation. I mean, obviously you can more consistently get those chronos now, but you really want to catch the Oracle inside the chrono with everyone else, because if the Oracle's outside of the chrono, you're probably not going to do that much. It can save at least one person, maybe two people. Then Chen's going to heal, and I don't know, things get turned around on you.
Yeah, this false promise is doing a lot more work than I was expecting. I mean, I wasn't expecting Thug to be able to eat a Laguna Blade and just with Spirit Siphons. And of course, the Oracle heal back up to full. I think he ate a Laguna Blade and Death Ward hits that last team fight. Either way, AF, they're smoked up. At the same time, HR is smoked up. These two teams are about to clash. Thug gonna be the one who gets caught up, breaks the smoke, is up in the air from that Yule's Madara coming in from the sideline, has an ult, the false promise comes out, but they're all stuck in the chronosphere. Madara, though, barely taking any damage here. He needs to use his Omni Slash before he dies, but he's blown up, and the Juggernaut finally ineffective in one of these fights, but it's still going on. The Exorcism is out. They need catch. Thug desperately trying to chase after them, but without stuns, it is just a free-for-all all over the place. The Clink's getting away again. Maybe Goddamn will go down here. Shocklow also coming in very close, but they blow up Thug, and now Undershock working on Spartan. Oracle gonna try to help him out, but HR, they've killed two, and only lost one.
HR might want to try rush now, though they're being split pushed pretty hard, so I guess they can. Looks like they're gonna split up and try to do both. Yeah, Lena goes to defend the base, and they probably do get rushed out. I don't think it's that easy. I don't think it's really possible for them to contest. And it's a really good fight by HR, actually. Identifying that they catch the DP, they very nearly kill her, and then she gets protected by the Oracle, and they immediately change to the Juggernaut. And I think it's very important they do that, because if Juggernaut managed to Omni Slash, the fight's gonna be totally different. The fact that they killed the Juggernaut without the Omni Slash, very, very, very big. And if they might have thought, I mean, it's often Oracle ulti someone, you're like, okay, let's just keep dumping damage on that person, then they'll die at the end of the Oracle ulti, but changing to the Juggernaut, I think, was a very important decision that they made in the heat of the fight, and it's helped them a lot. They've got an Aegis now, the lead's being cut into, and we are seeing time and time again the lack of stuns on Finem is costing them. Like, when the position of the fight is bad for them as it breaks out, there's much less room for them to like adapt to the situation.
Their team fight control is certainly lacking. In that team fight, Juggernaut had an opportunity to Omni Slash on the side of the team fight, but I think he really wanted to make sure his Omni Slash killed someone, as opposed to 9 bounces shared between all 5 heroes, in which case everybody gets low, but nobody dies. And there just wasn't an opportunity for that, and holding the Omni Slash meant it never went off.
Yeah, as it worked out, in retrospect, it would have been much better to just go for that early Omni Slash. Guarantee that he stays alive till the same, like he and DP will be alive in the same fight after the Chronosphere. Then he can use Manta, he can hit stuff, but it makes sense. Like, it's reasonable for Juggernaut to think, let's hold the Omni Slash for a slightly better position.
Yeah. Either way, I think Finem, obviously understanding that if they lose a couple more of these, they're going to start getting run over by this Clinks. So they still have options, right? They're still ahead. They can always throw bodies at top racks. They'll get that ranged racks eventually with Nature's Prophet split pushing. But do you try to sit back here and maybe itemize some more? Juggernaut going for a Diffusal?
Yeah, Diffusal's really big because there's a bunch of Ghost Scepters coming up now on the side of HR. Just as much as it does against Clinks, it does against Juggernaut. It's very annoying for his Omni Slash. I'm interested mostly to see what the Nature's Prophet does here. Like, does he go for that Aghanim's? Because that's been like, Nature's Prophet in this patch is all about Aghanim's. This game hasn't been much sign of that being the build. But it might be that the game's changed in such a way that you want the Aghanim's now, the Nature's Prophet, so that you can control all of the lanes where they are all the time. Gives you a lot more map control.
Speaking of map control, we have a couple of decent wards out from HR, and AF trying to do what they can with their vision. Unfortunately, not going to help out Skylark here, who gets picked off by Shocklow and this Clinks. Sorry, yeah, that's Clinks. Having his model be disappeared because I'm looking at Radiant Vision. But a nice pick from them. And again, as you mentioned, without the Nature's Prophet there, you do feel more freed up as HR.
Yeah. It's kind of tricky actually for the Nature's Prophet. Like, he could go for the Ags, keep all the lanes pushing, he's always going to be able to die to Clinks. Clinks can solo kill him like at any stage in the game, basically, if he's on his own. So, I don't know, for me that's an argument for why I should go for the Ags, because if you have Ags on Nature's Prophet, you don't actually have to split push with your hero, you can just use your ulti. Whereas if you don't have it, you split push with your hero inevitably, and then you're always open to being picked off by the Clinks, the Void, or the Lina.
It's actually, I mean, they're 6,000 net worth ahead on Finem, but I think they're in a more precarious position because of these 2 lost team fights in a row. And because
they're in trouble.
Yeah, because Roche was taken as well, they don't have a good way of dealing with that. So they have to either wait for next Roshan, find a pickoff. I believe both teams low on smokes. Yeah, both teams out of stock on smokes for a while because of how many they've used in the past few minutes. So yeah, I'm not sure what you do here. You can go back and try to itemize for the diffusals and so on, and for the late game. I think Death Prophet needs an Octarine. Oh, she's going Shivas. Okay.
I think Advenom can still definitely win fights if they start on their own terms, and especially with the Atos and the Diffusal Blade, they could chase people down. Speaking of Diffusal Blade, Clinks also has one now, which means Oracle's going to be a lot less safe against Clinks. But the real issue is like, so with it, like what I'm trying to say is the stun pile they need to chase people down. It's not so important because they have Diff Blade, because they got Atos. They're going to be able to chase people down. But for it to be about them chasing, they need the fight to actually start well for them. And the last big fight that we saw them have was one that started very poorly for them. They were the ones initiated on. So the trick, I think, for Advenom is to find a way to have fights start on their own terms. And I think the answer is the Fear on Ags, which does look like he's going for now. Because once you have the Fear on Ags, the whole map's going to be pushing all the time, and you're going to have much more control. Except when the enemy team is smoking, you kind of always know where they are. And that makes it a lot easier for you to like decide what terms you fight on. Juggernaut also the Blink Dagger, that's mobility. These are the kinds of pickups that I think make sense for Advenom to guarantee that the fight starts on their own terms, because then they can still be fine.
So the Aegis does expire. It's going to be a short Roshan, so 9 minutes and about 10 seconds on that Roshan timer. This means that we could be seeing a big fight. I mean, both teams will be checking it, I imagine, like mad. Dia does have advantage over it, but right now Radiant has a bit more map control. Who do you think it's going to fall to?
Oh, that's a big question. There's a
Well, I think it's the
HR
deciding
smoke.
question, honestly. Because if they get to wait out another Roshan, HR, they're going to start to pull ahead.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of the hero matchup, HR definitely prefer, like their composition is better for 5v5 fights, especially if they get to start the fight. But like I've said before, if the fight starts on Advenom's terms and like maybe they kill one person, or especially if they kill the Void, let's say, before the fight starts, then suddenly it's like complete bloodbath and HR needs to run away. So I really do think it matters quite a lot on how a fight starts, what the initiation's like. And from the like sort of environmental perspective, it's the Nature's Prophet Aghanim Scepter is gonna mean that there's an inherent advantage for Advenom because they're gonna have map control. But from the skill set perspective, I think HR do have better heroes to get their own initiation. So there's one point in either direction, and then how well either team executes will maybe be the deciding factor.
Also, we have an Ags up on the Faceless Void.
Yeah.
That's a huge item. Things just
Yeah,
got a
it's
lot more hard for Advenom.
He picked it up a few minutes ago actually. It's it's good, but it's again like it doesn't really matter that much. Like the biggest thing about the Aghanims on Void is the cooldown. And I don't think that, like, we're kind of in the territory where if his first Chronosphere is good, they've probably done really well, and it doesn't really matter if he's going to get another one. I mean, it's good for pickoffs, right? So that you can, like, chrono one person and then still have it in the next fight. But I still think that, it doesn't make a difference to the overall scenario I'm describing, where if Advenom get a really nice initiation, get the jump, maybe Furon silences the Void, they pick off the Void, or whatever good initiation that happens on their own terms, they don't have to fight on the terms of HR, they're probably still going to win the fight.
Yeah, it's a... I mean, you're completely correct. Obviously, if the Chronosphere hits, if they get off all of their Wombo combo, Advenom don't really have a chance. I'm just wondering what exactly it'll look like, and Also, folks who are watching, if I'll check in 2 minutes, but I tried to change up some of the audio stuff so that there'll be less background noise. So hopefully that helps. But either way, I'm just not sure. Advenom, I do feel they have to wait on this Roshan before they push, unless they can get a pick off, but that's hard. They should have, yeah, they have one smoke off of cooldown now. And yeah, that wasn't 2 minutes, good thing. Oh. Or it was going to be 2 minutes. So. There we go.
I mean, the one important thing is that it's really just the faceless void that AF needs to be scared of. Like, a good Chronosphere could be, like, game-winning, but they aren't... I don't think they're that scared of the initiation of the Lina or the Earth Spirit. I think that they can react to those. They can't do a whole lot to deal with the good Chronosphere once it's happened. They're probably just at the mercy of the enemy heroes. And Juggernaut actually buys out a Basher, so no buyback gold. He wants to go for that Abyssal Blade. He's got the Blink. It'll give them actually like it'll be the strongest initiation tool Advenom have. We have talked a lot about their lack of stuns, and I've said like Purge and Atos is nice, but if they get the Abyssal and the Juggernaut, then they've got guaranteed initiation the same way that the Void's Blink Chrono is.
Yeah, I think it's pretty interesting. You mentioned, oh, Shocklow blinking in. He's looking for someone here. You mentioned the
Are under attack.
not having buyback, and normally when a team has tier 2s, you're maybe not as worried, but here, this Clinks melts towers. He melts them incredibly fast, so...
Yeah, both of the teams are in a position where if they like wipe the enemy team, they could get a lot of structural damage done for sure.
Once again, Skylark working on pushing that top racks a little bit. His tree is going to put just a little bit more damage on it every time he pokes away at it. So, and getting that racks, I mean, it will relieve some pressure on them.
It's the biggest challenge for HellRaisers at this point in the game is definitely Furon's Agnum Scepter. That's it. It's like, because of the Furon Agnum Scepter, they're slowly losing buildings, they can't have map control, their wave's always pushing in. It's far too predictable where their heroes are at which stage in the game. So, like, the best thing for them would be to just pick off the Furon and then, like, go for an objective together. But Skylark's doing really well, actually, even though he got a lot of deaths early on. Since he got his Agnum Scepter, I don't think he's got a single death. So recognizing, I think, the importance that he has in the game right now.
Yeah, he's also filthily rich. Do you ever worry Okay, we're gonna see a group up in mid for HR, actually. I was gonna say, do you ever worry when we see these Ag Scepters coming out of Nature's Prophets? I sometimes worry about it hurting the farm of the rest of the team, because Nature's Prophet is getting the majority of that farm, pushing out all the lanes.
Yeah, it's definitely a trade-off that you have to consider. But over here, it's not hurting the Juggernaut, it's hurting the DP who was already struggling anyway. I think it's worth it for them to control the map.
They cannot contest this Roshan.
Considering it still, it's a good silence.
Oh gosh, the Omni Slash comes out on the backlines. The Ghost Scepter is going to stop one from going down. Ninja is still alive. He has a tiny amount of health with this spin and goddamn runs right into it, but they're not able to bring him down. Now they're chasing with the Exorcism up. They kill off one. They're going to get the Witch Doctor as well. Ninja has brought back on that Lina, but he's already lost so many on his team. And up top, oh goodness, Lina, she is finishing off the Nature's Prophet. His Treants are working on that Rax though, and the rest of his team could decide to come on into the base at the same time. Exorcism working in the mid lane, and they do get the top melee Rax. Now, AF in a really good spot.
Yeah, it's such a good silence that they got on the Void before they jumped into fight at all. And that's, I mean, HR I think are favored in a fight to the Rush Pits, if all else is equal, but because they're the ones rushing, they get caught out. Like, positioning wise, it's much more predictable.
Chronosphere onto 2, but Madara just jumps onto Ninja and Shocklow. Even having an Axe, you just don't have damage. Undershock wasn't there. He eats a Chen creep, so now he's gonna do a lot more in these team fights, but at the same time, they're all gone already. Chen sends back the DP, and they got another set of racks.
Yeah, and Advenom don't make the mistake they made when they pushed top earlier. They recognize DP ulti's down. It doesn't matter if we can survive what they're doing to us, we should still leave, because we can't do anything to them. They need the Jug ulti, they need the DP ulti.
Yeah, and with that, Advenom pull their lead back over 10,000 net worth, and yeah, good on them.
Yeah, I mean, Klinkser is an Aegis now, but it's not that big of a deal. Lena doesn't have an Aegis, and Lena also doesn't have buyback, and that's well known to ad Finem. And that's, Juggernaut's gonna have Abyssal Blade soon. I mean, he can buy it right now if he doesn't want to save buyback. And at that point, he could kind of just, like, jump onto Lena, Abyssal Blade, Omni Slash, that's it, she's dead. Can't buy back.
Yeah, he did that effectively last fight. We are gonna see the Death Prophet taking a lot of damage here. The False Promise does come out. She's turning around using that Spirit Siphon. She's trying to heal back up. The Chen heal. She should be... Oh, okay. Laguna Blade just takes her from this plane of existence. And they're gonna get a kill on the other two as well.
Yeah, Nature's Prophet's still alive though, and Creep's pushing on all the sides. And this is why I say this is like, except when the Nature's Prophet is dead, there's not that much H-Rock can get done, even when they're making these kind of big kills. Would have been really good if they killed Juggernaut there, but unable to do that. Your team just constantly has to go back and deal with the creeps pushing in, because there's Nature's Prophet with an Agnum Scepter. It's like the most infuriating thing to have to deal with.
Yeah. And AF get themselves into a really good position, as you said. Oh, okay, never mind. We're going to be having one caught out. Madara blown up.
And that is why he doesn't buy his Abyssal Blade, because if he didn't have buyback there, if they saw the Abyssal Blade, like if he had bought it, they would have seen it, they'd have been like, hey, he doesn't have buyback, and they'd actually be trying to commit for push now.
Yeah, they still might be able to get something done in this mid tower, but by then 4 will be up, so...
Furon's got ulti again, so he's gonna press his ulti anytime now, and then push is gonna get turned around.
Oh.
Goddamn's actually hunting him.
Yeah, if Goddamn can delay his movements for long enough, they might be able to do something here. Oh, Goddamn just ultied a creep wave. And they are pushing that mid tower. No, Juggernaut here, the Chronosphere will be back up in 4 seconds. And we have a pause. Because this game is made of pauses.
Oh, Furon used the ulti, so waves are gonna start turning around. And Lena and Earth Spirit both aren't at mid. Earth Spirit can't really get there. Lena's got travels, she could get there. The biggest deal already is that the Juggernaut's dead, doesn't want to use buyback. And HR kind of know that, and so they're trying to get as much value as they can out of it, but I don't think they're going to be able to force the buyback. I wonder, Chronosphere's coming up soon in a few seconds. Maybe if HR try push mid, if they... I think if Void blinks into the high ground and Chronos, then Jugger's going to buy back. Probably, like, even if the cooldown's like 15 seconds left on buyback. So that's, I mean, it's the decision HR have to make. Like, if you commit for that, you're going to get the buyback, but you might just lose the fight and then lose the game. So, it's a big call to make. Do you go that deep to try force the buyback and risk actually throwing the entire game as a result?
And another problem, we haven't talked too much about it, but of course HR are up against Supers and... Oh, okay, we have a aggressive blink in by Sharklow and then the time walkout. Okay, never mind, nothing to see here, folks. They don't have great wave clear on HR.
Oh, look at the march of the trees.
Yeah, they're only gonna get like what? Oh, they actually get 100 damage on it. Ooh.
It's relevant. It's all relevant.
No, 100%. I make a little bit of fun about the 100 damage, but as you said, it's chip damage, and he does 100 damage, you know, every 30 seconds or so. That tower's gonna be gone.
I don't think Clinx's Hex has been seen yet. I don't think anyone's seen his Hex yet. I'm not sure.
He also only has a few seconds on that Aegis, so I think wanting to make a play with it, but just unable to, as you talked about with the Nature's Prophet pressure. And they're forced to rotate now back the Lena.
Nature's Prophet just like ruins everything. That's every player on HellRaisers right now is thinking like, I wish we had banned Nature's Prophet because that hero is single-handedly like controlling the game. Like every advantage we have is just neutralized by that one hero and his one spell and his one item. Well, now it's 2 items because he's got the Octarine, which is like
goodness.
Octarine core is like the Aghanim Scepter for Aghanim Scepters. Like, is there to buff Aghanim Scepters. He's nearly got level 3 ulti as well. Surprisingly, he doesn't have it yet, but he's about to have it.
Oh yeah, that's actually super weird. We haven't. I mean, I'd shown it on. Oh, okay, never mind. No time to show that. Skylark getting caught out here. There are TPs coming in, but also ones from his side. There's going to be the Sheep Stick. The Omni Slash flies out. They've lost the Nature's Prophet, but Alpha Ninja going down. Sharklow backtracks a lot using that Time Walk. Can they catch up to him? The Atos comes out and he blinks away, but the blink forwards and the stun from Madara. Another Time Walk to reduce all of that damage, and with the silence, they've got him.
Lena still doesn't have buyback. She doesn't have the gold for it, even if it was cooldown.
And now Klink's coming in using that Sheep Stick on Spartan, but this has just put him in a horrible position. They're gonna catch him out. They have a silence, they have gems, and Undershock going down. No buyback. This might just be GG.
Yeah, I mean, they finally killed the Nature's Prophet. It's the one thing they had to do to try and win the game, but they end up losing 2 cores without buyback. I think this is definitely mega creeps.
And even with the faceless void picking up the Maelstrom, they don't have enough wave clear. Sharklow goes in, manages to catch out the Spartan, but Madara just jumps forwards, gonna walk away on that Witch Doctor. There will be no Death Ward here. He goes down. Sharklow about to take a lot of damage, and the GGs are cold.
Yeah, so okay, maybe a bit less focus from Finem in this game. They look to have be running away with the game early on in the lane stage, just like last game. Then they screwed up a few times, through their lead a lot, and HellRaisers did really well to seize the opportunities that they were given. They played very well, but ultimately Nature's Prophet, as soon as he picks up that Agam Scepter, the game just gets completely locked down. And from that point in time, I think they killed him one time, literally, which is right now, and they ended up losing the game as a result. That's what it took out of them to take out Skylark. So even though he's a 210 Nature's Prophet at the end of the game, I gotta say, does very, very well to protect his Aghanim Scepter once he has it.
They did, yeah, they had a little bit of a stumble and really did a good job getting back from it, and that's something I've really been enjoying seeing out of this Finem roster. They seem to be excellent at taking advantage of mistakes from other teams, and also very good at adapting their game plan to how the game is going currently, which I think a lot of teams do have trouble with. So either way, folks,
yep,
that's going to be it for this best of 3. There will be another one coming up in, I think, an hour and a half or so at around, Tornado Rocks versus Danish Bears will be up at 20 CET. So I'll see all of you folks then. Once again, I'm Llama Down Under. I was joined by Scant, so you can find us by those names on Twitter. We'd love any feedback on the casting. And we'll see you next time. Peace out, everybody. Please enjoy the wait.